What is up, YouTube? Frosta Hobidon here, and today we're back with another reaction video for all of you. And this reaction video is for one of my Patreon members. What's up? Let's see, what's my Patreon member? Let me look down here. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Let's see. Nevin Punzel. I hope I'm sorry I mispronounced your name. This is the storytelling request. I said I'd keep him. I said I'll get this on the. I said I'll get this done for you, but hey, a lot has happened. So. Yeah, if you want to check out the original video, this video is the Storyteller Fallout Season 1 episode, The Vaults and Vaults-Tec. Yeah, I think he sent me the first episode, which was very interesting. I got a little historic lesson out of it. Anywho, let's see how this goes out. Let's see how this one is, the first episode. It's 11 minutes and 40 minutes long, 40 seconds long, I believe. Alright. Original video is in the link in the description, so let's check it out. In 3, 2, 1, go!
The discovery of the atomic bomb in the 1940s has given humanity a question the Fallout series has strived to answer.
Okay, another history lesson.
Mankind possessed the capacity to destroy himself. What would
yeah,
come
that's
of us?
possible.
Some predict that this is where our story will end. Yet what if it was only another bloody chapter of human history? You've experienced the Fallout series in your own way. But
Yeah,
want to learn more about its
have.
story. Well,
And I saw one of Team 4 Star's gameplay.
You have to go back to the beginning.
Oh, okay. We're rocket ships. Yeah, that's nothing new to us. Fallout Lore Series. Presented by ShoddyCast. Chapter 1. The Vaults. Stand by.
This presentation brought to you by Vault-Tec. Here's what you need to know about leaving the vault.
Okay.
Be sure to remember these basic rules.
I like this song.
Rule number 1. Line up in an orderly fashion.
Gotta line up. Hey.
Rule number 2. Use protective eyewear. Years of living in the vault can make the eye sensitive to natural sunlight.
Okay.
Without protective eyewear, extreme eye damage could result.
Oh.
Once outside
That
the
sounds
vault,
painful.
Be prepared to live life anew.
Good to know.
With help
I
from
will
the
have an
Garden
updated
of
model.
Eden
I
creation
have someone who's helping
kit,
me out
or
with that.
Use the
Actually, I give
keg
him everything
to
what I'm
create
looking
the
for.
new world you've been
Like an O
waiting
expression, like O.
Results may vary.
Or you see my teeth, with a smiling with my
On
teeth.
October 23rd, 2077, the nightmares became all too real when the Great War commenced. Blinding light ignited the sky, and people ducked and took cover as they had been taught, cowering under whatever they could.
Sounds like
hoping that if they kept
sounds
their
like a
eyes
reaction.
closed and remained still, that the merciless flames would pass them by. They hid beneath desks at school, under cars on the street, and behind desks at work. Perhaps a few were in their beds when the flash appeared on the horizon, and perhaps they drew their blankets over their head like children, hoping that the searing pain was just a bad
Yeah,
dream.
that never works.
The ballyhooed tactic of duck and cover proved ineffective against armies that no longer cared about winning. Mutually
duck and
self-assured
cover.
destruction was
Have
the
you
goal,
seen the
and
little clips of
American
Iron
and Chinese
Giant?
exceeded it in spades.
The old duck and cover video?
Hundreds of millions of people lost their lives within minutes, and billions
Yikes.
more died over the days to come as radioactive fallout settled over entire continents. The fallout muddied the oceans, clouded the sky, and sunk deep into the soil. Those who happened to be in the right place at the moment the bombs fell managed to survive. These lucky few formed the primitive tribal societies that struggled for survival in the years immediately following the war. Hidden
See how
from
my
those
eyes are-
tribal
I'm trying to get my
bands were
eyes to
another group
move.
of survivors,
Looking at the camera.
those who had been selected for Project Safe House. 100,000 people fortunate enough to have been offered shelter inside impregnable survival shelters called vaults, created by the Vaults-Tec Corporation. The first
Vault-Tec.
vaults opened again a few years after the war, and their inhabitants slowly spread throughout the wasteland. By now, tales of the vaults have spread from coast to coast, although not many people alive today have actually been inside one.
Oh.
At the height of pre-war civilization, the government and a few powerful corporations knew that an apocalypse was brewing, so they used their finest technology to create vast subterranean bunkers that could withstand a nuclear blast, a meteor impact, global flooding, or other likely disasters.
Should I do my
The
clip
general
animation,
public
by the way?
wasn't entirely convinced that their end was nigh.
Should I use my clip
Otherwise,
animation,
there
or
would have been a
are
greater
y'all good with
demand
my
for
B-tubing?
vaults. When the war started, there
Once
were
it gets
only
better.
about 100 of them scattered across
Because I'm
America,
actually proud of this model.
and many held less than the 1,000 people they were intended to hold. Those who were smart enough or lucky enough to be inside one when the end came were protected from the devastation by airtight steel doors, thick walls of concrete, and over 200 feet of soil.
Right.
Fine engineers at Vault-Tec designed their bunkers to run independently for 10 years and even more. Geothermal power, hydroponic farms for growing food, and a water purification system so efficient Vault residents could fool themselves into thinking they weren't drinking their own urine.
Oh,
The
good.
designers made the
Can't
vaults
have
as
that now,
homey
can't
as
we?
possible despite the steel-clad walls. The cafeterias were designed to look a little like roadside diners, and Vault dwellers could close their eyes and imagine
I
that
can
they were
see it.
eating a plate of Blamco mac and cheese. Shiny new medical robots tended to those
I don't
who
like the mac and
suffered from
cheese from
mundane
KFC.
illnesses and
It has a
injuries,
weird smell.
While on the surface world, billions
Nah,
died
if it's
from
mac and
radiation
cheese
sickness,
from how my
burns,
aunts,
starvation,
from my
and
family
violence.
members, how they cook
Housing
it,
wasn't
then I'll
as
eat it.
spacious as on the surface.
I'll eat
but
that.
there was plenty of room for several
A
hundred
mixture
people,
of
and the vaults
well
that
cooked
held
and a little
few
bit burnt,
thousand or more could work
and I'll
out
eat it.
fair ways to share their bunks for a while. Each vault was run by a leader called the Overseer, who ran the underground community from a command center deep inside the complex. The Overseers were usually selected for their exceptional leadership skills. The vaults were comfortable enough, but after 10 years the radiation had gone down in most parts of the country, and the vault dwellers expected to head back up into the sunlight and begin rebuilding their flawed societies. Vault-Tec had prepared them for anything that might await on the surface. The vaults had all the research material that they would need to
Today,
rebuild
the
America,
GOAT
including
GOAT.
the entire Library of Congress.
The GOAT?
on
Who's the
Holodesk,
greatest of all
plus
time?
101 recipes on how to cook rats. Those who
Ugh.
have walked the wasteland know that
I got a
the
little
world
brother
isn't
who's
a
a
kind
who's a
place.
mouse, so I don't think he
Sometimes people
approves.
think of the pre-war
Little
days
sparks.
as a
You can see him
golden
on my
age,
photo
a
there,
time when people were
next
better
to me.
each other. But there wouldn't have been an apocalypse if that were true. No, people were
He's
cruel.
he's
callous to each
adorable
other
little
even
kid.
back
He's
then,
8 years
and the
old
folks who ran Vault-Tec were no exception.
with
We've all
electric
heard of
powers.
Vault City,
So
a
make your
paradise built
Pikachu
by
comments in
people
the
who
description
emerged from
below.
Vault 8 using a pre-war device called the Garden of Eden Creation Kit. They represent what the world could have been like if
Using
only
biblical
Project Safe
names,
House had
okay.
been on the up and up. Unfortunately, Vault-Tec had some ulterior motives, and vaults like Vault 8 were rare. The poor fools who weathered the fallout in Vault-Tec's nuclear shelters were the control groups in horrible experiments. Keep people nice and safe for 10 years, then open up and build a new Garden of Eden? That happened a few times out of 100 vaults. Most vaults were designed to deliberately malfunction as part of an experiment to see just how far the human mind could be pushed before it snapped.
Oh,
Unbeknownst to
Okay.
the vault dwellers, Vault-Tec and some elite factions of the government had their
Is that a
own
brain?
shelters far away from the public vaults. These elite wanted to
Is that a
learn how to
brain?
rebuild society by observing the inhabitants of the defective vaults. Some of the vaults were designed so that their inhabitants would be trapped in isolation for generations. Think 10 years locked in a vault is a rough trip? Try 80 or 200.
wow, that's
There could even be people still sealed inside hidden vaults that haven't opened yet.
that
Other vaults had experiments
sound like
that
a good
only a lunatic
experience.
could conceive. 1,000 men with only one woman. 1,000 women with just one man.
Oh,
Or even one man trapped all alone in his own vault with nothing but a crate of puppets for company.
oh
One
wow.
vault even seemed like it was designed as a personal playground for a sadistic Vault-Tec employee who just wanted some poor souls to suffer forever in a virtual reality where he was a god in a world of his own.
That
making.
is a yeah.
You might be
Some
wondering
people will
if the
take
vault
advantage of
dwellers
that.
ever figured out what was
Sickos out there in the
happening to
world.
them. Did any of them learn that their lives meant nothing to Vault-Tec? That they had become no more than lab rats in a mad experiment? Maybe the
They're
inhabitants
just your
thought that their
playthings.
problems were accidental supply errors.
No one likes to be
or
a
maybe they
plaything.
realized what had happened and cursed Vault-Tec
This is what
with their
happens to
dying
corrupted
breaths.
men with too much power.
Who knows if these experiments
Corrupted
turned up
men
any
or
useful
women.
information for
I
the
believe in
sons
gender
of
equality.
whores who devised them. But all the suffering wasn't for nothing. Many vaults did open, even if later than expected. Some of the people who emerged went on to do great things for the wasteland. Parts of what used to be the capital of this land even has fresh water thanks to some helpful vault dwellers and technology scavenged from the old vaults.
Okay.
Looters hoping to uncover riches and pre-war supplies should be wary of the vaults, though. Project
Okay,
Safe
got
House
it.
has brought some troubles to the wasteland, too. The super mutants, for instance, are connected to the corporation behind the vaults. Just remember, Wanderer, it isn't worth getting killed by mutants just because you heard about a stash of fancy lad snack cakes inside some
That is
old
also
vault's
true.
pantry.
Don't be greedy. Don't let
There's a
greed
whole
blind
city
you
ghouls
of the
who came
dangers
from one
ahead
of
of
the
you.
vaults. Sometimes you'll meet a ghoul who claims to have been alive back before the bombs fell. Don't pay them no mind, unless they're wearing a Vault 12 jumpsuit.
Okay.
That vault, the door never sealed up all the way. Maybe it malfunctioned, or maybe it was more of Vault-Tec's shenanigans.
Oh.
But the people inside got just the right dose of radiation to turn into the very first ghouls. The idea of a piece of the old world sealed fresh is just too romantic an idea for some people to resist. Of course, most wanderers have the sense to stay away from the vaults. If you really can't help yourself, though, there's a city called New Vegas where people can get a look at the inside of a real live vault without having to worry about mutants, ghouls, or old security bots.
Are you serious?
Right in the middle of the New Vegas Strip is an old vault that they turned into a hotel so that travelers have some place to sleep while they waste their caps boozing, gambling, and whoring.
Of course they
Tourists
would.
can even grab a Vault-Tec lunchbox in mint condition.
Some
or a stylish
person would
vintage
have to make a
Vault 21
casino make
jumpsuit.
money out of it.
We don't know how many vaults are still out there undiscovered. They're hidden well, and Vault-Tec like keeping their secrets.
They
Maybe
do.
a few of these unknown vaults still have people living inside, the descendants of that first group of survivors. Or maybe there's a thriving society buried right under our feet that doesn't even wonder what the outside world is like. Sooner or later,
Probably.
though, that door has to open. Even the fine makers of the vaults couldn't build a system that will contain humanity forever.
That
When
is
those
true.
vault dwellers take their first steps out into the bright sunlight and feel the sands of the wasteland beneath their feet, they'll find the world has changed a lot in 200 years. It's a big, mean world. Their overseer is small potatoes compared to some of the factions that run things now.
Oh yeah.
There are those who view the vaults as candy-shelled morsels filled with treats. Technology is nice, but the vaults held something even more precious. A pure gene pool uncontaminated by radiation or exposure to virus-borne mutagens. There are plenty of interested parties who want to get their hands on a fresh supply of pure strain humans who have yet to be
why would they
exposed to
do
the
so?
harsh wasteland. But that is a story for another day.
Okay then. Well, that was Storytelling Fallout, episode 1, season 1, episode 1, The Vaults. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sending me this request on Patreon. If you want to check it out for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description down below. And I'm sorry, as I headbang to this music. Okay, that's enough of that. Yeah, I'm grew up in the Fallout series thanks to my friends in college and watching Team 4 Stars videos. Follow Team 4 Stars live stream videos as they play Fallout 4, the captain. The journey of the captain. I forgot his last name. All I know is he was a captain, but please go check it out. Alrighty. So, that's it for today. As always, take care, have a good day, be safe, and most importantly, stay frosty and stay healthy out there. Catch you all later and have a great day. You guys are awesome. Love you guys.
What? Jonah, quickly, be racist!
You this.
You hear that, stupid? My fiancé hates your whole stinking race. Bet you didn't plan for that. Follow me.